All right, all right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Bison, aka Bison Trades, over on Twitter, and welcome back to another episode of RareFUD Radio. On today's episode, we'll be going over some alpha. We don't have a whole lot going on in the market, but there are some news headlines to cover. We do have some staking platforms live that we'll discuss there. Bubble Goose Ballers just announced their studio. We'll be talking about that today. They've had a nice little rise over the past few days. We'll be talking about a few other things like Bonk as well. If you guys don't know what Bonk is, sounds like it's a meme coin that's going to be airdropped to a few different NFT collections. They've already announced a few of those. We'll be just talking about it today. They haven't released their white paper yet, but it should be on everybody's radar because it's ran by two guys that just seem to profit always. So nothing like free money for the holidays. It's a great time. So without further ado, joining me as always is the boy Dorian. Dorian, how you doing, my man?
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Every day's a holiday. Happy to be back for another great episode. It's funny, just before we came on, we're like, oh, not much is going on. And then right before the show, it's like, oh, man, it's like Bubble Goose came out, Funk, and then Trump NFTs, and then a whole wave of other stuff that I'm excited to get into.
Oh, bro, there's always something to get into. We'll definitely be having more time allocated to alpha than we normally do. But without further ado, let's bring on our third co-host. What is going on, Joe? How you doing, my man?
Doing well, guys. Glad to be here today. Excited to talk about some alpha. Not a lot of stuff going on, so we kind of can shoot the stuff like we normally do behind closed doors, but do it here for you guys, man. Be fun.
That's right. Yeah. We do have some headlines to get into today. As always, we'll go ahead and start off with our market summary at 162K Solana volume. And I gotta say, I mean, like if you asked us a few months ago, we would have been like praying for this. And 162 feels low. It doesn't feel like we have a ton. It feels like it's more distributed than it has been recently, where it was like very concentrated volume. And now it's like between a few different collections, and we don't really have the movers and shakers that we've had over the past. And I think a lot of that volume is going into some of these mid caps. So you do have stuff like ovals popping off. We'll be talking about them. We'll be talking about Lily, just had a nice little reversal. And some of these other, like 10 soul ish projects that have really good fundamentals. So we'll certainly talk about those. Ute still up there. D God still up there, as always, still leading the way. And yeah, we also have really good volume on exchange art. Again, I wish TIEXO included form function as well, but exchange art has been popping lately. Almost 3K Solana volume over the past 24 hours. And then an additional 25K over the past week. That is insane. That is about 2.5 times as much as we normally see when it comes to one-on-one art. So things are moving along really well in that space. Again, we've been saying, this is really the time to be starting to look over there. Laura L just had a 500 soul secondary sale. You love to see it. So again, starting to see some of these bigger names start popping off on secondary. That's usually a good bullish sign that we'll see some movement over there. Want to kick it over to you first, Joe. How are you feeling about the market right now? And then we'll go over to Dorian.
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I mean, we're in the process of that long chop of, a bottom, which is a lot of like deviations up and down. So, up to maybe 20 and then back down to 11, like that type of low and slow. What I'm finding, positivity in is, a few like 10 to 20 teams and builders are getting main liquidity, which is awesome because they deserve it, right? So hopefully they can continue to, innovate and build. So at the time, right, I think it's a really cool time in the market because I think a lot of the fear that's been here, everyone's kind of ripped their money off exchanges. If you are ripping your money off exchanges, if not, you're happy to lose what's on there, right? Things like that nature. Like I think that fear is kind of like slowly dripping out, and I do think there'll be a slow burn for a while here until any like big catalyst or big movers come in, regulation and that such, to actually bring that billionaire liquidity back into our market in general. But yeah, I think it's a really cool time for builders right now and for community members like us that have save soul and can kind of deploy that soul now and more in a opportunity cost fashion. So yeah, I'm feeling good.
Absolutely. No, I think that's a really good point, Joe. Dor, how are you feeling about
Yeah,
the market right now?
I'm feeling good, man. Usually when we see these high spikes in volume, we see a lot of this liquidity start rotating to mints. But surprisingly, this time it seems like Claynosaurus was that last big mint, and now things are rotating around secondary. So there's a lot of trading volume happening around collections like Lily, ovals, which we'll get into later. Of course, I'm not too sure how tubes and stuff is doing. But we see a lot of volume on Claynosaurs and along with their airdrop that they just had, which I find really interesting because I'm so used to when we see these huge volume spikes, it becomes mint and print season. But that's not the case right now. And we see there's not a lot of things aren't minting, and the things that are mint aren't super hyped, so you're really expecting them to fall below their mint price. The only other mint that I'm really looking out for right now is Tile Pilots. I think that one is what everybody's pretty much waiting on, and we'll see a lot of volume rotate to that. But I think the play right now is just to start looking at where this next hot ball of liquidity is going to rotate into. Could it be Lily or could it be Critters Cult? And I'm sure we'll get into that later as well.
Yeah, yeah, and Critters have been doing well too. Again, it's this like cluster of 5 to 15-ish sold projects that have actually been doing really well in terms of returns lately, that and volume too. I mean, they've been
Yeah.
on the top 12 or top 24 as far as collections go when it comes to volume over the past 24 hours. So definitely something to watch. If that's kind of where liquidity is moving, I didn't expect it to, but if that's where it's going, we follow the volume and we try to stay ahead of it too. So that's good. I love seeing these projects with solid fundamentals, especially ones that have minted over the past month or two in these conditions doing well. It's always good to see. So let's jump into it though. Speaking of recent launches, UGS, Underground Society, has recently announced staking. If you go onto their platform, if you go onto their Twitter, they do have their staking link. Make sure you are doing it from the official UGS Twitter account, because obviously you know how phishing and scamming goes in this space. Make sure you're getting it straight from their Discord or Twitter in the announcement section. But who knows what this is going to unlock, dude. UGS is going to have some incredible utility. It looks like they're airdropping like lore pieces as well. They've teased this for a while. Recently, they moved up from 2.5 SOL to 5.5 SOL last time I checked, looking at a nice, comfy 2x in this market. And it was always kind of a no-brainer. I minted one. I wish I had bought more when I saw it dip, but this is kind of a pattern we've been seeing on a lot of these mints is, the public trust them, they'll mint. That's not really the optimal entry. It's usually right after mint. You have people frustrated. They're like, why isn't this going 2x, 3x? They sell for a loss, which Solana's going to Solana. And then it goes back up. We saw it with ovals, which I'll get into too. I literally called it going to 7.5 and then rocketing up from there. And I didn't even take my own call. I am the king of not taking my own calls. And we saw it with a few others as well. So kind of want to get your guys' takes. Do you guys have any UGS? Joe, Dorian? We'll go with you first, Dor.
Yeah, I don't have any UGS. Nothing against Light or anybody. It's like, as I stated even in the last episode, I've just been so focused on picking up my monkey. It's just that I haven't been paying attention to anything. Now I'm starting to rotate back into these secondary plays where I can look for that 2 to 3x on. But I'm not surprised that they get a 2 to 3 or 2x recently. Like Light's solid, the team over there is solid, and what they're building is solid as well. So it's only natural. But however, it's like in this current market, I wouldn't be expecting more than like a 2 to 3x. So if you did get into UGS on that dip, I would probably think about maybe rotating your position, because right now it's just everybody trading against each other. So with this small amount of capital rotating around, it's unlikely to see those 5 to 10x's that we saw in the bull market. We even, I think Bison said a couple weeks ago, where Adam Ape 4x4 outperformed everything, and that only did like a 20%. So like, or you should only been looking for like a 20% gain in that market. So it's important to contextualize your returns according to the market. And if you get a 2x in this market, it's solid. Ovals just did a 2x. And if I got in when Bison talked about it, what was it, like last week, Bison? It's like, I would be looking for an exit right now. I don't, not saying that they can't go higher. It's just like, due to these current market conditions, I just think 2x is safe.
Yeah, I mean, you always take multiples when you can in this market, and at the very least, just take your cost basis out. So if you did get 2, sell one and ride the other one. It's never a bad strategy to have. You kind of just get to accumulate great projects, and that's that. So, Joe, I want to kick it over to you. Do you have any UGS, and have you been keeping tracks of this? Because I actually think it has really cool utility. I'll get into in a second.
Yeah, no, sorry. So sorry. Okay, there we go. No, I haven't traded UGS actually, Bison. They haven't even been on my radar, man. I'm actually looking at the chart, and it's kind of it was telltale in the chart as well. It was actually a pretty bullish chart coming into this ripoff. But yeah, I would love to hear more about that. Some UGS, Elixir Owls, OVOs. I was definitely bullish with you as well. I was able to get my master role in their Discord because I wanted to see what that was all about, and from what I can see in that, I'm definitely bullish on those, and I think I'll swing trade those even longer. But yeah, I would love to hear about UGS. I did not kind of skip right over those.
Yeah. So the utility I know of, the one that really interests me is Core. I think it's called Core. So it's going to be an add-on into your browser. So in your browser, you can actually click on it'll kind of appear like Moonrank or any of the rankings do over. It's like an overlay on the NFT itself. You can actually click the little Core icon that should be in the top right, I think. And what it'll allow you to do is actually purchase it with a fraction of the cost, and then you can pay it over time. So this is kind of like taking out a loan against it, but you're not doing it all at once. So it's kind of breaking up the loan into smaller payments over time. So you can pay for it over time. If you know me, I'm in real estate. This is like one of the things you learn to do with real estate. You pay, 5%, 20% down or something like that. And if you are looking for the actual gains on the value of the home, you get those. No matter if you paid 100% cash or 20% down payment, you just have to pay the interest off on it. So that's really the only cost to you. But it's a higher multiple play. So, let's say a home value goes up 20% on its actual value. That's fine if you paid 100% down. That's a really good return. It's something we've seen over the past year. But if you do that on a 20% down, you literally just 2x your money, So it's one of those plays where I can have access to something like a DGods or something if I think a bullish catalyst is coming up, and just fund it using a fraction of the loan, making sure I make incremental payments when they're due. So for me, this is like really cool. I love leveraging when I can, especially knowing that I have an edge in this market. And I think this will be really key to moving the market forward. I think there's going to be a lot more velocity of money because you can get in on these higher blue chips at a lower cost, essentially up front. So I think that alone is so cool. Yeah, go ahead, Dor.
Yeah, that's an interesting point that you bring up. Like being able to get in these higher blue chips at a lower cost. Do you think we'll see a lot more capital rotate into these blue chips, pushing the floor prices up higher?
Yeah, I do. And I think that's one of the things that I'm like really excited for, is that we can just leverage, all right, making sure that we have enough money in payments, making sure we have a time frame of exit of like, hey, I need to get out of this trade, in 7 days, and we'll see what happens here. Or else I just need to go ahead and close this, and make it's kind of like having an option almost, like there's so many cool things you can do with this kind of payment structure. That it would allow a lot of people who don't have access to a DGOD or anything like that to actually own a DGOD. So I do think this will rocket, the SMBs of the world. I think this will rocket DAAs and everything that's more high price, that is out of reach for a lot of these people looking to dip their toes in, and they can just try it out. It's kind of like renting it, but you're actually mortgaging it. You know what I mean? You're mortgaging an NFT, and I think that's a really cool feature. So that alone right there, super cool. It sounds like they're also going to have some sort of art generation sort of feature as well for creators. This will make sure that generative art doesn't clip each other. So, like one of the big things with Utes that was going around was that hat clipping into the glasses and stuff, and make sure that all the layers kind of don't like interfere with each other. So, that's just a few of the things. They have lore. The art's good. I think it's unique, at least. I wouldn't PFP it personally. That's just, art is subjective. So if you like it, great. But I'm really interested in the unique features that it's bringing to the table. And love the team over there. Love Jake. Love Light. Love Searcher. They're all great people.
Yeah,
So
Searcher's
that's my
awesome.
little spiel on it. Joe, does that answer your question? Are you more interested in this project now?
Yeah, absolutely. It's bringing like a firm or afterpay to the NFT space on a very more like this bigger scale with a lot more avenues to go off of. I think it's implementing a Web 2 practice that's proven and tried and true, and bring that over to Web 3. So yeah, I'm into that for sure. So thank you, Bison. I was actually charting it when you were talking to me, looking at sell and buy walls.
Yeah, I'm
Dude, I've been into Soul Sniper lately, man, and they make it super easy with that buy and sell wall right there to your right when you're trading. I love that. Being able to
yeah.
see that is really, really nice.
Dude, I've been very bullish on Soul Sniper lately, and that's we love Hello Moon.
Oh,
Hello Moon just kind of
absolutely.
provides more of like an
So,
overview, a data overview of
right.
the Soul ecosystem. But for trading, right now there's
Yeah.
nothing better than Soul
Listen,
Sniper to me.
I'll call a pair, man. Like you, at the end of the day, I'm a trader, and when I go to that UI UX, it's for a trader, very
Well,
much
yeah.
so.
I also want to show you guys something too that I've been seeing with Hello Moon. I'll go ahead and share my screen real quick because I
Cool.
do think this is important for anybody out there, and I'll talk to Walker about this too because his platform is unrivaled in my opinion when it comes to overall data structure. But I used to go. This was like my home tab, right? Um, Now I can't use it. And the reason being is because I don't know if their data's messed up or something, but I keep seeing these absolute trash can projects at the top. And that's like I can't get any insight from this. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
too cluttery, it's too messy.
That's gotta be filtered. That's probably just. I know they got a lot on their hands. They're probably just not looking into that API,
Yeah.
whatever's pulling that aggregation. Because that is a good point. I haven't actually used that in a while. Yeah,
Yeah, and it's just a small point because that used to be I still use it for DeFi all the time, and that is their bread and butter. If you guys are new to Hello Moon, that is like
absolutely.
what they make their money on is DeFi analytics and data and selling it to other DeFi protocols. So um yeah, that's how they're able to give so much value for free. But Soul Sniper has been a godsend, dude. So in terms of UGS, like for me personally, I think I want a couple more. I'm not gonna like completely ape into this project. I gotta see if there's like different tiers for the utilities, like Wise Whales, which is minting today, which we will talk about. Where if like you hold 3, do you get access to different utilities of core or anything like that? Is there a certain percentage that you have to buy in at to these NFTs? There's a lot of questions I have that I need to do more research on, but
Yeah.
nonetheless, very cool project. I'm interested. I think 4 Soul is like if I can get there, that's kind of what I'm looking at for an entry. But if it doesn't, at least I have my one, and I'm so happy for this team that they are going above mint, almost 2xing from their mint cost of 3 or so soon after mint in this market. So kudos to them. Hats off to them. I'm excited. Any closing remarks before we move on?
This is a little bit of a tangent, but I'm going to start live trading during RareFUD as well. And I just found an ascending triangle, guys, on the 4 hour for Soul. So I did it via RareFUD, added it. So you have to check out RareFUD. But yeah, guys, check it out. It's a possibility on the 4 hour. And let's hope for the best here. Moving on.
Okay, dude, we've speaking of Soul price, it has been so stubborn, not wanting to go to really ideally like $16 and above.
Yeah.
Like 16.7 is where I have like a massive like 16 and a half to $17 is where if we close above that, we
Yep.
kind of just rip.
Yeah.
A lot of
16.1, 16.7, huh? Yep, by 16.7. I like that. 16.2 kind of, then 16.7, then rip. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I mean, if we break that, that's good. But again, like this is the market we're gonna be stuck in, boys.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, I think it's just this is why I'm so happy we have NFTs. At least we have something to gain from there because the token itself not really budging. I'm more interested trading ETH and BTC right now if I were to trade anything. But
Very
yeah,
true.
there's not a whole lot of movement on Sol. It's been very flat for literally like
Oh yeah.
2.5 weeks.
Check
So
Yeah, dude.
check that chart if you can real quick, B, because I think this might be a decent scalp if we retest this breakout because we threw down once, threw up once, back to the apex. Now 60-40 continuation is bullish on this ascending triangle here. if volume comes in on a breakout, we could look at a decent throwback on the 4-hour hammer. Then that's your valid continuation to long there, right?
Yeah.
So if you look at the 4-hour, it's a sneaky trend line. If you pair that wick on the last candle that's building now, and you run that down, and you over the BART, right? Because the BART's the throwback, so that's invalidation, and you run that trend line down, from the hammer down, from like to the right of that hammer, that one that's building now. Let me see if I can. Yeah, here I got it on. You guys check out my last tweet on Rare. I added it. There you go. Yeah, let me see if I can.
Yeah, if you guys want to see what Joe's talking about, go ahead and check out his Twitter feed. Yeah, I'm just not interested in trading this range right now. Honestly, I already packed. Like I'm only interested in adding to my spot soul bag, and that's
for
about
sure.
it. So,
Yes, agreed.
it's too choppy. And still there's no volatility. Like that's what I trade crypto for. So if I want volatility, I go elsewhere. But yeah, if Sol's stuck in this range, that's fine for NFTs. Like a steady Sol means that people are looking elsewhere for multiples.
Very true.
And they are going to be looking at either tokens, governance tokens, DeFi, anything like that, or NFTs, depending on what their bread and butter is. So that being said, let's move right along. Ovals are ripping. So the owls from Elixir, if you guys don't know what those are, I don't know if I mentioned on RareFUD, but I definitely talked about it like twice on No Fluff, where I said I have no interest in minting elixirs because what's going to happen is it's going to go below mint. Cool minting mechanic. If you guys weren't there for that episode, we did talk about how they had kind of like a gambling sort of feature when you were minting, where it's like, hey, you could possibly mint for only one soul, but the chances of you actually minting are like 9%, right? Or you can go up to 5 soul and it's like 45%. So you could get possibly, it was just like feeding degens, and I thought that was really cool in this market. Unfortunately, a lot of people were upset with it when they're like, wow, I didn't mint. And it's like, it clearly states you have a 45% chance of minting if you don't pay the full mint price, right? So that's on them. Thought it was a cool feature. Elixir continues to do cool things, in my opinion. It sounds like there's going to be an ETH AMM as well, possibly in the future. They are going to fractionalize some NFTs. Ovals have just been ripping lately. They've gone from about 7.5. They are now at 18 the last time I checked. And we haven't even introduced staking or anything like that. So if there's rev share, which it sounds like there's going to be, we are in for a treat with ovals. I do think this is like a really good utility project. So we're back to back on utility right there that I'm actually intrigued with.
Yeah. So my only problem, like, I'm going to put it out here fully. I don't fully understand Elixir other than it's like being an AMM. And we're starting to see Magic Eden just like continue to dominate volume. With their new rewards program coming out, it's like if ovals and hate swap, this whole thing is like to attract liquidity to their platform, but Magic Eden continues to remain dominant through their reward programs and even potentially integrating the AMM. It's like, how valuable are ovals in the future? It's like you can have rev share all day, but if you're not getting the liquidity on your platform, it's like then the rev share doesn't mean anything because you're not going to get anything from it.
Yeah. I kind of agree with that. And I'm definitely, it's one of the reasons I'm not just sitting there like absolutely saying like this is 100% buy. But Joe's also been over here at like 10 soul saying you need to be buying ovals. So congrats to you, Joe. Joe,
don't get me wrong, it's a good trade. I'm not knocking the Joe because Joe's a trader. Like,
oh yeah,
even it was even a short-term trade. Like when you called it when it was at 8 to 16 is solid. But like from this point on, it's like, what are you expecting to get? Like, are you trying to get the rev share from it? Are you like holding to see what Elixir does? And I'm not knocking the team. I'm just bringing in their competition that raised over $1 billion or at least valued at $1 billion. So it's just like that pragmatic side with the trading side. It's like a great trade, but do you really want to hold this thing for like 3-4 months?
Yeah. Okay. I kind of agree with that. Because we'll get into the Magic Eden rewards because I have some thoughts on that. But we'll go to you, Joe. You've been preaching ovals. So what do you think about this price level? what are you interested in when it comes to Elixir? Like, what has you drawn to Elixir?
Yeah, so what draws me in as a trader first is the multiple catalysts that they have ramped up, that they can deploy at any time. I get the psyche of the individual that would be buying, and I understand how you can couple that with higher lows. And I've talked to the team, and they understand that, like, floor price is important to them, as well as just building. So I think they're going to keep an idea on how to keep a hype cycle while also underlying building, like, maybe changing the R and just keeping stuff that people care about degen wise. So as a trader, I can just keep a sound heart that, I've come in and out of elixirs already. Now that I'm sitting on them, I'm looking for that big catalyst run. But, like fractionalizing NFTs to trade them like a token, like we're degens here. So if I could look at a chart and see like OVO dash USDs at 0.23 per token, then I can literally trade that like it's scrap or any other SPL. As a trader, like that's cool. Like, and if I could get some type of fee discount or free percentage on their marketplace or something like that, or I mean on their decks or sex, whatever they're making, that would be interesting to me. So it's more of a speculation play. Like, all right, guys, can you innovate and build and keep these catalysts running? But also, like, you got to remember, like, my price point is good, right? I'm in at like 11 average, so I have that run, right? Because if they drop to 14, they break these massive supports, I can offload for a small profit and walk away. But to me, I think they do have more upside here. I think 16.7 would be a good entry. That's a retest of a psychological resistance there. 16.5, 16.7. You see that come down like Lily today, man. I know we'll get to that, but that picture, I posted it, a picture perfect reversal on old support, old resistance turn support, right? At the same time, the listing is rejected of a trend line at the same time as a reversal on the candle. So it's little stuff like that, nuances that you can literally see in charts here. So that's why I'd really love to be able to trade some of these fractionalized NFTs as if they were some shit coins.
Yeah. Okay, so with Elixir, one of the things I'm actually bullish on is they will have like a earn and borrow feature. They will have like a long and short. So that's really the big one
Yeah,
for
that's
me
good.
is that if
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can
yeah,
if
That's
I
exactly.
good.
can long and short NFTs on your
Yo,
platform,
Oh yeah,
um,
and Bison, it'll be fractionalized too, where it's almost like fractionalized stocks, So
yeah.
you're like puts and call and almost as well. Like it's going to be almost. And you got to think about ETH. The big thing now is wormholing and fractionalizing. What if they don't have to do that to Sol to capture opportunity cost? And they can stay on ETH, but it's through Elixir and like I don't know. It's just that there's an opportunity cost to be had there. And I understand Dorian, bro. That's overextended at 18 Sol. That's hard, right?
yeah,
But again, it's like people are happy buying with no real catalyst put out. It's all speculation. What if an infrastructure comes? Okay, stake your OVOs passively. Okay, this is exactly what we're building. That's going to fire at maybe the 30 Sol. And I'm just running it off of a cost basis. Like you look at Tylo, like pilots or oil or infants. You're looking at nectars being over 200 plus Sol and almost none listed, right? So it's
Uh-huh.
like, oh man, like that right there is what gives me like, oh, maybe there's a deviation that has to be had there, and then it'll recheck a fair market value. So I see your point completely as well. So it's like a 50-50 for me, Dory. If I
yeah.
wasn't in, I'd maybe grab one for exposure and hang out, right? So yeah, I agree with you, man.
No, no. You both of your guys' point are like super, super solid. Like I agree with both of you. Like being able to long and short NFTs, dog, go threaten me with a good time. That sounds like a blast. So it's just like, and I guess I'm from the perspective like I don't have a bag in this right now, but like I wouldn't be looking to like personally for me, it's like 18 Sol is a bit hefty right now. Now I'm just kind of chilling out.
Yeah, they were a screaming deal below 10.
Yeah,
When they dropped below mint, that should have been everybody's, and that's exactly what I think we're just seeing across the board with all these mints is
Yep.
it dips down below. We saw it with Lily. Lily actually
yes,
went below 5 at
Yep.
one point and then rocketed up to, almost 16 Sol or whatever it
yep,
was.
Yeah, man.
Um, we seen it with ovals now. Did exactly what I thought it was going to do. We saw it with UGS, did exactly what, it dips a little bit below mint and then
And
it
that's your
rockets up
that's
to
your
mint.
valid point there. It's like, what's the value prop there? What, you lose $18, like when off of your mint price or whatever it is lower. And I think I wanted to point out too that OVOs, it's pretty wild. It's the only project right now to be at all time highs in USD value, right? As
Yeah.
long as well as Sol. which is pretty
Yeah.
crazy, right? We don't see a metric like that on many projects right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the conditions it minted in, right?
Oh,
Because
they love,
we
yeah.
Yeah.
we
Oh,
say
yeah.
that about
Timed it
UGS and
perfectly.
stuff.
Yeah. You
Um,
look, so Big Brain put out a tweet today was saying like, hey, don't like if any of you were profitable in 2022, make sure you start putting money aside for taxes. Yo,
I
I don't know who's profitable in this market. Like you
Yeah,
should be
for real.
in gold, but if you're like up in USD, dog, I need to talk to you, man.
Well,
Right.
I mean, it has been nice because the profit taking I did do back in January or February where I was taking out enough at least to cover like taxes and stuff like that. Cause I was like, this, I've learned my lesson back in 2017,
Yeah.
2018. I'm going to take profit. And the nice thing is Netrunner kind of helps me do that. That's why I've been bullish on Netrunner. But you look at it and you're like, well, if I just go ahead and sell this at a loss and then pick it right back up,
Yep.
Yep.
you still have all your bags. You're just pegging the value of your loss right now, so you can maintain any sort of liquidity. You're not giving it back to the government, at least not this year. If you do sell in the future, and you don't hold on to it for at least a year, you're going to be hit with short-term capital gains, and good luck with that. You might as well just move to Puerto Rico, right? So, yeah,
Dude. And
which
guys,
may be a thing.
100%. It might be a thing. And it's very smart, honestly, if you have the ability to. But yo, real shit, guys. Sorry, excuse my language. Netrunner, man,
Good.
you guys don't understand. If you're up in gains and you're looking at you have to pay capital gains tax on a bunch of money and you are up, dude, get Netrunner. You don't understand how many losses you take on token swaps with SPLs because of slippage. I didn't. Like I was like, oh wait, those are all losses? Like Tiny just compounded up like crazy amount of money that at the end of the year you're like, wow, that's in the thousands now. It's little things like that you could literally write that off and get your $3,500 deduction off your capital right off of your token law. And I'm saying if you've been on Sol for a while, I don't think you'll realize, because I'm a profitable trader, but I didn't realize how unprofitable I was when I just was going for swapping and not looking at slippage. So that would just be my little hindsight.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. Definitely. I mean, do your taxes, guys. The last thing you want to do is get locked up for being a bozo and not actually doing those. So, yeah.
Don't do that. We
Do your
don't want to
tax.
see you locked up.
Yeah, do your taxes. I mean, like, there's no clear tax code, so just try your best because I know like a lot of accountants around here barely even know how to do crypto gains
Very
and
true.
properly and yeah, it's a mess. So try your best. And a software like Netrunner helps you so much. You just plug and play and it spits out a report and then you just here you go,
Yeah.
and that makes my life so much. That is worth its weight in gold. That is more utility than 99% of NFTs out there. So,
Yo, real quick before you move on from Netrunner, it's like, what are they sitting at right now? Like,
last
that
time I
might
checked, it was
honestly
like
be the play,
5.1.
dude. What they're
Yo.
sitting at 0.6 Sol. It's like
Yo.
people are because tax time is wait till like February, March. Those things are
Yo, bro, I've been preaching these since they were like one Sol, bro. The cyber syndicates, though, they're going to drop an announcement soon. I'm just letting you know. That's alpha. They dropped an announcement before the announcement, but the cyber syndicate's coming. That's going to be a whole trading, like almost VIP room that you go in and you can list, sell, see. It's going to be a whole experience. And it's like, listen, I love what they did for the tax portfolio and your portfolio track. Like I'm into it. It's 0.6 right now, 0.5,
0.4.
Yeah, 0.4 for a syndicate to throw in the wallet and say, okay, we'll see what you got, Netrunner. Like I'm cool with that too. And like you said, I think but it's crazy how much utility they really are building. And I'm holding stuff in my wallet that has maybe 80% less utility, and it's up 80% on the floor price of Netrunner. So definitely.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be one of those clear plays that, taxes are coming up. You have between now and April basically to buy one of these things. And the longer you wait, I think the more you're going to be paying, especially with Sol being so low right now. So that being said, let's talk about Lily. Lily planting sounds like it's coming soon. That's good. We did talk about how they have some theme music up on Bunjil's SoundCloud. And if you look at one of them, it looks like the next 101 legendary is going to be a hollowed, like very unique, like through and through hollowed. It has the hollowed aura. It is a hollowed itself. We'll see what that looks like. But honestly, just love the 101 concept. If they're doing it for 101 holders or 1-to-1 holders. So if you hold one Lily, one Lotus Gang, you're automatically entered. The more you hold, the better. Just make sure you're maintaining that 1-to-1 ratio. If planting comes, I think it's a bullish catalyst. We've seen a nice reversal. Like, it sounds like it's coming pretty soon, and staking's never a bad thing. I love how, I mean, you just announced it today too. It's non-custodial. It won't be a tradable token. It sounds like I don't know if it will or not. It's called Talon, but we're seeing more of these. Ute points are staying with your Ute. It's non-custodial. It sounds like Lily should be non-custodial, and I'm just like, thank goodness we are coming around to this, because I hate custodial staking more than
Yeah,
the life
no.
itself. If you're making me go to a website and lock up my NFT, it's not 2022, or it won't be 2022 anymore. It's not 2021 for sure. Stop making me do that. That is the worst feature in the world. So
You forget to have NFTs locked on websites, and you're like, oh yeah, I forgot this there.
it's awful. And I forgot about like 50 soul worth of NFTs that I had to like go scouring for. Like, stop doing that. That is not a good UX. That is never fun for anybody. And I'm gonna forget about your project. Like, I will absolutely forget about it. It happens all the time.
Yep.
Stop doing custodial
Yeah,
staking.
we need passive soft staking. You need it
Yeah.
nowadays, like you do. And
I
think the
we're
only
getting-
team that can get away with it is Tayo.
Yeah, but that's just because he inherited it. It was never supposed to be like that. You know what I mean? It was never supposed. It was supposed to be a nice, like, you don't think Tom can make one of the best soft staking platforms ever? He can. He just got inherited Scrap and Tayo and did the best he could with it. So this is why I'm so excited when Graphite comes out. He actually gets to just make it himself. This is his own protocol with his team. It's gonna be goated. I'm excited for it. But speaking of soft staking and like just passive staking, Critters. I know we talked about it this morning in our chat. Again, if you don't own a Cyber Samurai, eat sush. Every active trader should own one samurai, homie. You like own a samurai. This is where you get into the dojo chat.
Clip that. Somebody clip
that. It's we talk about this alpha even before we mention it on stream sometimes. So like, it pays for itself. It really does. A Path also has, like, we got pre-sales too. We've gotten pre-sale. We got 2 pre-sales in the last 2 yesterday. It was between Wise Whales and
Yep.
what's the other one? I'm excited for Wise Whales.
I forgot the other one. I would have to look it up in the chat.
Yeah, but I mean, it's cool. We're getting pre-sales. I'm excited for that. So for 5 soul, you only need one Sam. I'm crazy and I have more, but yeah, you should own a samurai. Anyways, talked about Critters. We talked about how it's been holding like an 8 soul and has nice volume and everything like that. The chart looks good to me. Hasn't really mega pumped yet. I got back into Critters. I got one. I'm probably looking to add more. Full disclaimer, I do own one. I got it for like 8.4. It's a boba or whatever they're called. What a bubba, something like that. But the owl looking one. I think that's going to be the alpha. Them and like Groot and the legendaries, they're probably the ones that are going to hold their floor the best. But
Oscars.
Oscars are cool too. But it's just one of the best pixel arts. It's been a while since they've announced anything. It sounds like they got some stuff on the horizon, and you do with that what you will. It looks like a nice chart, but they have passive staking essentially. You get 1 pixel per day. You can go to their claim site and go ahead and claim it, but you just need to hold it in your wallet. You only need to click anything except for when you want to claim.
And they compound, right?
Well, you'll have to use those pixels for what they have coming in a couple months. I think it's like January. They're having another mint. I forget. It's been a while since I reviewed their white paper or whatever, but it's you'll use those pixels to mint whatever they have coming next. And I think that'll act as a pretty bullish catalyst. I mean, but you have to be staking, obviously.
Thank you for that, Dora, because, bro, I was hype. I bought 2, and I went to claim my pixels, and I had 13 pixels in there. So I didn't know they accumulate with the critters. So you can sell them with pixels still.
That's
really
legit.
cool.
I didn't know that.
Me either.
They've 2x silently too. If you look in the secondary, you can trade these tokens. I think they're just on Famous Fox right now, but yeah, you can you can trade the token itself. So just something to look for. Maybe there's some alpha there. I'm not crazy on SPLs right now until the market kind of stabilizes a little bit more, but dude, Critters have been doing well. So I'm looking at all these passive staking plays and the fun plays, the ones that people forgot about because they seem to be making a little bit of a revive sort of movement there. because we're seeing Bubble Goose pump now too. Bubble Goose did just lock down its animation studio. It's going to be with Seth Green. So Seth Green's production studio, they called Carl's agent, said how excited they are for Bubble Goose. And for me, that's incredibly bullish. We saw it go from literally, dude, it went all the way down to 1.5. And I was sitting
It
there
went to
like,
1.5, dog.
yeah, I went,
Ah,
I sat there and looked at him. I was like, I should just sweep this because I don't want to hold anymore. I hold 3. I don't think you need to have like a ton of Bubble Goose exposure, but
yeah,
1.5,
like
I was
12,
just sitting there
like
like,
this guy.
this isn't a soft rug. That's all I could tell myself. I was like, this isn't a soft rug. 1.5 is as cheap as it gets, and now they're 4.5. I do think they go up from here. Not financial advice, do your own research. I do have 3, but I like they walked down an animation studio, bro. Like this is the kind of progress that you need. And their Web3 strategy has been terrible. We have
Yes,
been very
it's
vocal about
awful.
that.
It's the
They've
worst.
been Web2 facing. They are not Web3 focused right now. So eventually they will. Getting him right now, again, it's one of the more medium term holds. So I don't expect like a rocket ship from here, but I do expect upward price movement. So it's if you're looking for multiples soon, I think there's better plays right now. But dude, Bubble Goose locking down an animation studio. He made the Boondocks. He made Black Dynamite. Like, God, it's so good. He's so good at what he does, and I think everybody forgot about it. And we're already, we're sitting over here but talking about Claynosaurs, which we should be, but we're losing sight of stuff like Bubble Goose. So this is why Bubble Goose, Critters, all this good stuff that everybody forgot about because they're on the next wave. To me, is a really good play. These are the levels that we've loved. So nothing's changed fundamentally with the project. In fact, it's only gotten better. And I think everybody should be turning their attention to that.
Yeah.
Dor, let's kick it over to you and then Joe.
Yeah, dog. You know me. Me and sorry, language. Me and you have been like supporters of Bubble Goose for a while. I brought 10 Bubble Goose at 9 sold, so I'm down bad. That was 9 sold at like 30 something dollars too, and a couple maybe at 100. I don't even remember. It's been a minute. But I didn't sell because like the fundamental thesis of why I purchased Bubble Goose didn't change. Like nothing changed about why purchased Bubble Goose, even when it was at 1.5 sold. It's like, why sell? What changed from Carl actively producing this show that I know he can do? So why should I sell? So I didn't. I just collected a couple more, especially after I talked to Slatty at the Well Mixer, because they even have more stuff going on. This whole thing with Seth Green Studio, this is brand new, but he let me on some alpha that I'm even more bullish on than the Seth Green stuff, if that's possible. So as you said, Bison, it's like Bubble Goose has not done an amazing job on the Web3 side of things, but I'm more than confident in them to execute on the Web2 side of things, and that's more important than anything in my book. Because if they do land on a major television network or on Hulu or on Netflix, that's more eyes on the project. I don't know how Carl will give value back to the holders at that point, but I think I'm pretty confident that the team will. And having that type of access and that type of visibility to such a wide audience is irreplaceable, man.
Yeah. I think if we talk, we're so wishy washy with IP plays, like and branding plays on Solana.
2 weeks ago, we hated them.
Yeah, like 2 weeks we hate them. Next week we're gonna love them. Who knows with Solana? I still, want to see more. I think Claynosaurs has done a really good job rewarding holders. We already saw an airdrop like so soon after mint that is worth 4 SOL. Like that's a dividend right there, and that's reward. And who knows what it's going to be used for? And there's gamification there, and they have a like infinitely better Web3 strategy than Bubble Goose, but Bubble Goose is what 1/7 of the price right now. So worth looking at. Joe, let's kick it over to you. What do you think about all this? I just dropped like a lot of little news headlines.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I was actually looking at the chart as we speak, but yeah, I think the catalysts are there, especially if they. I mean, it's remember everyone was talking about it's going to take a while to pitch a show. It's going to do like we're getting to the point where their pitches are coming in and they might have an announcement to be like, hey, we got a huge partner here, and we're going with this show at this pilot date, and those are real mechanisms and mechanics that will get people very excited. So yeah, these are the hard plays to make. This is hard to buy when no one else is with you, right? When no one else is looking at you and going, you're awesome, man. You're so smart. It's like, no one's telling you you're smart right now. It's hard to make those plays, but those are the plays that pay off the best, right? So I think as an investor, man, these are the plays you're looking for. You're looking for these low opportunity cost, high value proposition plays.
Yeah, yeah, you are. And it's hard going against the flow. I feel that so hard, Joe,
Yeah.
because like sometimes it's hard going against the grain when everybody else is calling it a rug of some sort. It's hard buying FUD sometimes. I get it, and I'm like, I love FUD. FUD makes better entry points, right? And with Sol as down bad as it is, it's hard to remember that sometimes. So yes, we get it. Do you think this is a decent time to buy? I don't know. It has gone 3x. So, we always say like wait for retests, wait for cooling off, and maybe you can get a better entry, but it's still cheap. A lot of people minted for 7 Sol when Sol was like $25. So, yeah, you're still getting it at below mint. And I don't think this is a bad time to do so. Not financial advice, do your own research. But let's talk about the one thing I was not expecting. Trump cards coming out as NFT collectibles, which at some point we should have known was coming. Melania, released an NFT collection last year or something like that after she was first lady. Actually, she might have still been first lady. I don't know if that's a conflict of interest or something, but probably needs to be looked at. We now have Trump cards. Have you guys seen these things? It sounds like it's going to be $45,000, $99 a pop, and it's over on Polygon, which I saw the very first thing I said was, I wonder how much they paid Trump to get him on Polygon because they've been paying for all these deals. And that Easy tweeted it before I could. So yeah, I'm curious. Also, how down bad does this man have to be? He was a billionaire. I don't know if he still is. I haven't checked Trump's net worth in forever. But why are you opening yourself to this kind of risk for what? $100, 45,000. You're looking at 4.5 mil. Am I doing my math correct?
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like good risk reward for somebody who already has a ton of money.
For me, it's like I'm all politics aside. I don't think like why if you see the opportunity to make more money in an easy way, why wouldn't you? I mean, seems good to me. For me, it's like I don't, regardless of my thoughts on the president, the former president, it's like I will buy that NFT if I see it as a good trading opportunity. If I think that thing's gonna pump, I'm aping, dog. But I don't think it's gonna pump, so I'm not buying anything for $99. So it's like I don't blame him or Melania or anybody else for releasing an NFT. I blame the individuals who buy the NFT then complain that it didn't pump.
Yeah. I mean, it's up to you guys if you want to mint. I'm not minting.
I'm not touching it.
But like, hey, bullish on the fact that it may open up NFTs to a whole different demographic than what we have in NFTs currently. So that's fine. Joe, what do you think about Trump cards? We buying Trump cards? We aping into these things? What are we doing?
Yeah, this is crazy. The only thing I can think about is like he's got a team full of 80 to 100 people, and they have some young people on there that are like, here's your marketing budget, go double it or whatever. And they're like, all right, they're new and they know they're into Web3. Yeah, I don't understand. Is it just collectibles? Like, it's just a collectible pack of what is it even going to be? What's the?
I'll
Some
let
of
you know
them
when I
can
find out.
introduce you into a sweepstakes to like do different things with them.
Okay, so it's basically they're trying to onboard new young users to his political campaign, basically by all right. So it's an onboarding process that a team is doing for him on the back end. He probably has no idea about it. Has not one idea,
Oh, he does. No, he
Does
did a
he? He's
commercial
tweeting
for it.
about. Oh, you know what?
He
His
did a
his fake
commercial
ass
for it, bro.
definitely.
This guy did a commercial for it. It's the funniest thing in the world. I'll have to pull it up. Maybe I'll put it into the show docs or something like that. But it's ridiculous. I'm just sitting there like, huh. I think if it's a good trade, I will look at it. I'm always trade agnostic when it comes to things pumping, but if this is what NFTs are like, if this is like the final form of NFTs, I want to sell everything right now. Because this is, I don't know. Are you like fractionalizing your campaign here, and incentivizing it with possible sweepstakes for dinners and signed memorabilia and stuff from Trump? Because that's what it sounds like so far.
Dude, it's like I think this is the evolution of NFTs, though, man. We already saw this with Discord or whatnot. It's like we're gonna start seeing all these companies release digital collectibles or whatever they want to call it to act as rewards for their, like, instead of like membership cards, you're going to have NFTs or digital collectibles that allow you a certain access or certain rewards. And we're not going to see these little 10K collections. It's going to be these massive 45K, 100K collections, and even more, or unlimited, where anybody can get in. But I think, as crazy as it sounds, like, I think that's fine in the long run. And this is why I'm becoming more bullish on community-based NFTs, because as the market becomes more and more saturated with these type of like companies creating digital collectibles, and like all these other groups and communities creating all these other NFTs that are generative with 100K, it's like the ones that'll have the most value are the NFTs that have been around since the beginning. So your Bored Apes, your freaking Azukis, if you want it on ETH. I'm not too familiar with ETH side, but that's why I'm bullish on SMB on the Solana side. It's just like people will see those having that historical value attached to them. So I think once NFTs are adopted by the mass society, it's going to be oversaturated, man. Like, you can't reach mass adoption with the prices of NFTs today. So as much as it sucks, I just think this is the natural course of things.
I guess. I guess. Look, I am. I don't know. Whatever. Maybe this is our moment where like Floyd Mayweather was pumping whatever it was back in 2017, where it was just some random absolute shitcoin. So I don't know. I don't know what this moment looks like or what we'll look back at it on, but just weird, man. You can fundraise so many other ways. Like, this man knows how to, and you want to do it for 4.5 mil.
But dude,
sure.
Bison, a lot of the normies see this space as a quick way to make a ton of money, man. And while in some cases they're not wrong, most people underestimate, like I would even say Toys R Us underestimates the difficulty of it. People think they can just come in and say, I'm dropping an NFT and it pumps. While that works in a bull market, people don't understand that's not the same case in a bear market. That's just because you got some name recognition, your brand's not about to pump as it did like the last year or so ago.
Right. Yeah, it's just interesting, man. All right, final point, and then we'll get on to a little bit of alpha, and then we'll go ahead and sign off here. Bonk. So Bonk is a meme coin that is coming from KW and RD9. It sounds like they are, I guess, a couple of the people. I don't know if it's just coming straight from them or not, but I know they're involved. It's dropping with multiple collections, so it sounds like it's just going to be airdropped to random collections. You can go check out their Twitter feed if you want to. It is called Bonk Inu. So kind of like Shiba Inu and stuff. This is just a meme coin, guys. This is just for fun. It is going to be airdropped to NFT holders, and it is going to be fairly distributed. And it's going to have, probably a crazy supply. It'll have really good tokenomics. I guarantee you, because this, I think, is more or less a social experiment to see what kind of tokenomics work. Because I know KW and especially Rex have been very vocal about how much they hate Solana tokenomics, which I would agree. It is the one thing that is holding me back from like the near perfect crypto coin and token. Like, it is. Its inflation schedule is terrible, and it should be punished. And I'm not sure what they were thinking when they did it. But nonetheless, it's free money just in time for the holidays. So go ahead and check out their Twitter. And I don't know if I'd buy it and just kind of wait to see, but it's going to be airdropped to people. It's free money. Go ahead and check it out. It's going to a bunch of different collections. I know Sam's are getting it. I know Duck Punks are getting it. Smiths, Clanosaurs, all that good stuff. Yeah, pretty much anything you want to. At this point, like a ton of collections are getting them. So if you see it pop up on an airdrop, make sure you're checking their Twitter. Make sure it's an actual token and not some scam. You don't want to be scammed just in time for the holidays. That sounds like a miserable way to spend your holidays. So I think that's about it. Do you guys have any words on Bonk? Because I don't really know much about it until we start getting white papers and stuff.
Yeah. So I know it's going to be an airdrop. So I was just thinking right now, it's like, you know what? Maybe instead, because we're going to see people dump that token like automatically. That's what's going to happen. So I was thinking about, would the actual play be able to take that airdrop and just provide liquidity to a farm? It's like, because the APRs are probably going to be insane. So I'm like, yeah, it's an airdrop and I'll probably lose some soul. But if I can like make a couple, I don't know, it was like, I'm assuming like 1,000 APR, or at least 700 for a couple, like a week or so. I'm like, I'll take that. And then I'll still hold Bonk because, everybody's going to be dumping it on the market. So it's just like, it'll manage that long-term hold of bonk what I'm looking for, because people are attracted to like Dogecoins. So whenever Dogecoin pumps, it's only natural to see, like, especially in a bull market, I wouldn't be surprised if bonk bumped later on in the future. So I was like, that's what I was thinking the play is, just to take that liquidity, put it in the yield bar. Even though I'm going to suffer impermanent loss, I'm willing to lose that soul to get more bonk, because I plan on holding it long term, and just remove that liquidity later when it dries up or the ATRs come down, and just ride it out. So I'll see how it happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's free money at the end of the day,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
how you want to play it is how you want to play it. There's not really a whole lot of risk associated with it, and thank goodness, because a lot of the people that are still holding stuff, they're down bad on their USD costs. So, Joe, do you have anything to say about Bonk? Have you looked at Bonk yet?
No, I have not. I just came privy to it today, actually. But I
Yeah,
definitely will look into it now. But like Dora said, most of these get sold off their inception, and then from there they can build a fair market value. But we shall see. It'll be fun time though. Anything that's free is fun. So
yeah, I think
Yeah.
so too. Okay, free money. That's good. Make sure you check out their Twitter. They only have like 700 followers right now, so you are, listening to this, you are ahead of most of the game. And who doesn't love free money? So
Yeah.
let's
Real
wrap
quick,
it up.
Bison,
Yeah,
I'm not too sure if the team, when they say this community is getting an airdrop, if a snapshot's already taken. So we need to clarify, like, when it's announced, because if it's announced and they haven't taken the snapshot, then you still have time to get in some of these projects, and they might award it proportionally how much of that project you hold. So there might be an allocation to the project, and then within that project, it might go to the largest holders of that project. So it's those details aren't out yet, but because they're not out, I'm assuming the snapshot hasn't been taken. So maybe you might be able to pick up the projects that have been mentioned to try to accumulate more bonk.
yeah, yeah. There will definitely be like game theory behind it. So look at the collections. Make sure you're paying attention to Twitter. Um, Again, I think Sam's will be privy to it more than most collections, just
Yep.
because we are close with KW and Rex, and Shake will get the alpha before most people. So yeah, I think that about does it. Let's talk a little bit about alpha. I kind of actually want to save alpha for next week,
Yeah.
because I think a fun segment will be making a portfolio for 2023 with 100 soul.
Oh, that'd be a blast, dog.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think that'll
that's a
be.
good one.
We'll add it to our Christmas list of what we want on our portfolio. We'll go ahead and put it up on Twitter too, and you can vote on who has the best portfolio. We're not going to look at each other's when we do it, and we'll just announce it next Thursday. So next Thursday we'll do like kind of a little Christmas episode, and I think that'll be a fun segment. So
Oh, that'd be a blast.
that being said, I really shared most of the alpha. I know Wise Whales is minting today, and I do think that's one that should be on your radars. I think Wise Whales has really good answers to a lot of things, and they're not well known. So my goal is that they hopefully mint out today. They go below mint, just like we've seen across the board, and then I will pick up 3. Apparently, you need 3 for their full access of tools. And yeah, I may mint 1 just to support the homies, because Wise Whales do show up to a lot of spaces. But yeah, I think Wise Whales is the only thing that we haven't talked about today that I think is alpha, and we'll probably do pretty well. Just look for it. Again, I'm looking to pick up below mint. That's really what I'm trying to do. Let's go with you first, Dor, and then we'll kick it over to Joe.
I think Scrap, man. I'm not like a big TA guy, clearly, but Scrap just seems like the play right now. And it's been hovering around between like 38 to 45 cents for a good bit now. Once we get that official confirmation, like pilots mints on this day, we're going to see a pump in Scrap, and I think we can do at least a 2x from here. And I plan on exiting at that point. So like around 80 cents, like honestly, $1 would be like, oh, like that's the moon for me. So that's the play that I'm looking at right now.
Yep, that's definitely fair. I like that take. Joe, what you got for us?
yeah, I'm Dust and Scrap both have catalysts coming up, for sure. Utes, honestly, man, I think once people realize that with like the reward points, you're going to get them. And if you want them up front and you want to be repaid back instantly, then you can lock up for 30 days. So say I want my 20,000 U points, but I want them back instantly. They'll say, cool, you got to lock it for 15 days. You lock it, you get them instantly back in your counter, and you keep going. I do think if that falls into the 120s or 110s, I'll look to buy another one. truly, because I think the catalysts are there to run them.
I'm in the same boat, Joe. I sold my Ute. I sold my Ute at 145, and I
Yeah,
am
it's a
looking
solid
to
play.
jump back in. I looked at I had it listed for 166, and I pulled it because I was like, I think it can run a little bit more. It did run just a hair bit more. But that was pretty much a local top. I should have just trusted my gut. I did sell at 145. I'm fine with that, but I do think it pulls back a little bit. Then we do another little nice little Santa rally. So I'm hoping over the next week or so it goes down to 110, 120. Who knows? We're seeing pullback across collections, but that's my hope. Doesn't mean it's going to go there. I don't know if it does, but I am interested in picking up around 110 to 120.
Agreed fully. And yeah, other than that, man, I really do think the Lily, I mean, Lily's just the art itself, and I really think that the staking, I think that has a chance, to be a pretty decent project here as well, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that as well. Okay, let's talk. You know what? Actually, one play I do want to give because I
Time
did.
for
I was
Sam's. Honestly, we have to be honest with this. The new collection coming out in the new year, right? I'm serious.
by
So that
Sush.
you guys are sleeping. Look at the legendaries that are being produced. Like, you just have to really look through the lines on this one. Talk about sleeping undervalued builders that have been here for a year plus, right? A year plus is like 10 years, dog, in Web 2.
Yeah, man.
So like
Yep.
I know we're biased, obviously, guys, but looking past the biasy, like no, it's a solid play, truly. Low entry cost, especially just for 6 sush, bro. You're not looking at a lot, and you get an entry into something that's going to be really cool and speculative. Like, yeah, so that's a play as well. And I'm not on the team, so I can say stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't. I'm technically I'm in the team chat, but I'm not really. I'm not paid, guys. I'm not a paid member of said team. Just I love the Sams, and yeah, I do have a bag. So definitely agree with that. But Sush is the alpha on that. If you do want the new collection, the key is Sush. Are we getting Dorian? Are we getting another
Yeah.
Sush airdrop to Sam holders? Are we
Yeah.
getting like more?
So yeah, man, it's gonna be. I guess I'm still. Yeah, we're gonna. I don't know how many I can say. There's gonna be some more airdrops. So let me
Okay,
not say the exact
cool.
number. There's gonna be some more airdrops before we have what's coming.
There you go. Oh my gosh, dude. I'm tired of literally as we mention it. I see 3 Sush go off the board. I just want to look at price. Can you guys stop buying when we're mentioning it?
Yo, it
I'm
happens
tired of
all
buying.
the time, dog. I'm like, I don't think we're like doing this, but it's like even when we're talking about ovals on Tuesday, I was looking at them and I'm like seeing them disappear. I'm like, oh, thank you.
So that's our life. Thank you guys for front running us. I think that about does it for this show. I did want to talk about art because I was making, the Shake had a post and I tweeted out like art I think is great. We talked about Lily. I do think Lily is the best art on Solana. PFP art. I should say PFP art because I think Claynosaurs are the best art on Solana as far as generative collections go. And they're only going to get better because they'll add armor in and stuff. But pop heads, promise I'm not trying to pump my bags because I do have a bag of them. I just minted a ton because I was bored, which was not a smart play. But pop heads is so cheap right now, and this looks to me like just a time that, man, I want more pop heads. I know that sounds crazy, but they're 1.3 right now, which is nothing. I've seen way worse plays for 1.3, so I'm kind of interested in pop heads right now. If we're going to art and forgotten art and art that should be pumping right now, like critters and lilies, having a nice reversal, and we're starting to see some of this other bubble goose, coming back up. I think pop heads at 1.3 is like one of those plays that just feels almost riskless, knock on wood or anything like that. But I'm kind of thinking about adding to my bag. So I'll go ahead and add pop heads to the list. And that does it for our show. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, RareFUD Radio, we do appreciate it. Next week will be fun. We'll have some holiday segments and specials. And going into 2023, we'll make sure that you are prepared. We'll have a short list of stuff that we think will perform very well over the year. So you can kind of see more like long-term plays besides just our short-term calls and everything like that. And yeah, we're just trying to prepare you for a 2023 so you can make a nice bag. That's all we want for you. So thank you guys so much for your support. Remember, we are on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We're also on YouTube on the new channel at RareFUD Radio. Make sure to follow us on Twitter as well at RareFUD Radio, and all of our Twitter profiles are on our link tree. Thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate you as always. We will see you next week on Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the next episode of RareFUD Radio.